So we're going through the abyss. We've come through the opening of the abyss, and we're looking through Melania's eyes. Melania has in her head that she's determined to make sure to rescue her lost companions no matter what. Her thoughts dwell on the others. It seemed like once she passed through the abyss, she had a strong sense of dread and loss. Even before she went through, it almost like her connection to Wolfie was almost severed in a great sharp pain deep in her heart. But other problems arise, because as we go through the abyss, we hear Goody shouting, and there's all sorts of stuff, and there's a lot of clamoring around on the decks of the Wild Heart, the Space Jammer. They're screaming, and you come up from below, and you come up, and what you see is the Demogorgon on a great mountain peak waiting for you all as it's coming through. The Demogorgon leaps onto the bow of the ship and basically lands and rips off a large piece of the ship. There are people, and everyone that's on the front of the ship is sort of dropped into the abyss. You see two figures that you really don't know very well, other than you know Darius a little bit, but there's another cleric that you all had picked up from the House of Healing. They go to try to, Darius starts to run away, and the cleric runs up, and the Demogorgon's great tail bops them off of the ship. At this point, it's like Melania, I'm assuming, is going to run up and try to do something along with everyone else fighting the Demogorgon. But the Demogorgon then crashes his arms through the ship and then rips the ship in two, breaking the front and the back apart. And this is one of the last things Melania remembers as the ground comes crashing. And we're going to pick up with the half that you were on through. There are sounds in the distance of maybe fighting, or maybe it's just memories in your mind. You are very much out of it, but as you're coming to, you almost feel like there is a nose licking you and nudging you. So almost like some type of companion, just sort of nosing, trying to wake you up. So you hear very, very quick words. It's like wake up, wake up, wake up, and you feel a smack on your butt, and you sit up and wake, and there's nothing there. Yeah, like so you remove the yeah.
Okay.
So.
First thing that's going to come to my mind is Wolfie, and I'm looking around, and obviously I don't see her.
So you see the remaining,
and I'm still kind of groggy, coming forward. Guys, is anyone else here?
So you hear the sounds of the ship sort of bowing, and like the squeals and the cracks of wood and
guys.
So it's hard to miss. I'm not going to have you do a perception check or anything, but there are many dead bodies around, many clerics and paladins that were on the ship that were from the House of Healing. So if you would like to do an investigation to see if there's anyone that you recognize, you can use
roll
that.
the big D20. Oh, it's a 5. I don't know I don't have my thing on me. Sorry. I'm not prepared in that regard.
Well, you look around and you're going. Some of the faces that you may have seen on the ship, but they're not like anyone that you've really adventured with. Doesn't really change the fact that many of them have been thrown off. Probably your armor helped protect you, but at this point you realize that you don't have the great armor, the enhanced armor. You're Melania of old. That divine armor that they've been granted is nowhere to be found. You don't see pieces of it.
At this point, I think I would be looking around at all of the bodies, and I would drop to my knees and scream, "Helm! I failed you!
So you go, and again you think that you hear clashing of weapons, but you don't see a battle. You don't see anything, but you think you hear it, but maybe it's not. You're not hearing it from your ears, but you're hearing it from within. So again, you don't see Goody. You don't see many of the strong ones that you did adventure with and fight with. It's just, you keep looking towards the ship and you see the Wild Heart's symbol. It's with the tree with the wings coming out, and that's where like the hole was ripped into it, and it's like it was like ripped apart. So it's only like a half or third of it because the rest is somewhere else. A very strong sense of dread and despair, sort of, or gloom. It's easy to come across. You did hear Wolfie in your mind. Your thoughts go to her. But Helm is still not answered.
Is it safe enough to try to investigate the remnants of the ship that's laying there?
Yes. So you can go up and investigate. Yeah. So you can go investigate the ship. So we'll say that you sort of go through and creep through. There are more bodies in the ship. Sadly, some of them never even were able to look like they were armed or weren't ready. Many of them are in their bunk rooms, just like they never had a chance. There's weapons and armor scattered around. You do remember on the bow of the ship when the Demogorgon landed that there were some people doing some stuff and try to do it, but really the attack from the Demogorgon was just so fast. You remember the ship ripping apart and it hitting the mountain. And from on top of the ship, you can actually see the mountain that it came from.
Okay.
So when you look upon that mountain, again, this world is barren. It's gray, black. It's not like solid black, but it's just like streaks of black going to like gray or deep navy. But there is the mountain, and when you look upon the mountain, you think what you might see is an animal. Do you want to roll perception on it, or it looks like a large either dog or wolf standing upon a section of the mountain. It's the only living thing that you've got here.
Wolfie, is that you?
Like I said, it's far off in the distance.
Just
far,
Yeah.
So. So what would you like to do?
Well, if everything else that I have come across is obviously dead and there's nothing worth saving, do I? Let's go after that dog.
So you just leave the crash site how it is. So okay.
Don't know that there's anything I can do about it. So
okay. So technically you do have things, but you don't have your phone to look at your spells. But so we're gonna venture off on the mountainside.